I think it's fair to say that DC and Warner really need this new James Gunn Superman movie to be a hit, a big hit. It's got to be something very, very special indeed. The superhero genre in film needs this movie to be a hit. Now, of all the superheroes, there's none bigger than Superman, really. I mean, Batman comes close, I think. If it's possible for Hollywood to churn out a good Superman movie, then all is right with the genre, I think, in terms of comic book movies and film in general, because Superman is something special. It's supposed to be bright, colorful, optimistic, joyful, inspiring. And how do you accomplish that today, in today's world, in a very cynical world filled with irony and doubt and a lack of hope for the future and a lot of doom scrolling, right? And with Man of Steel, they didn't try. And possibly because maybe it wouldn't have worked with audiences given the time we were living through. So they went with a darker, grittier, foreboding Superman story. Visually and tonally grey, a bit bleak. I actually like the movie, but that's neither here nor there. And maybe that spoke to a wider cultural moment at that particular time. But now people want something a bit more wholesome and more optimistic. And maybe that's a response to the funk we've been living through. But is that possible to do that today in a way that feels authentic, in a way that feels genuine? I think it was straightforward enough to do a bright, colourful, optimistic Superman movie in the 1980s with the Christopher Reeve movies when there was already a prevailing cultural zeitgeist in the West of positivity and optimism. But in 2025, it's a challenge. But I think it's entirely possible. And, maybe a positive Superman movie is exactly what our culture needs right now. Who knows? Now, having listened to Chris Gore of Film Threat speak to Gary of Nerdrotic in a recent stream that they did together about what he's heard from test screening reactions for this new Superman movie, so far it's sounding okay, a bit mixed. I do think we need more reactions to draw on. But it does sound like there was praise for the cast. David Corenswet as Clark Kent Superman and Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. It sounds like they work well together and they work well in their own roles. He did talk about a really long 10-minute conversation scene in the movie. It's like 10 minutes of dialogue that kind of slows the movie down a little bit. Yet one person told him the film is good, not great. It does sound like the film is going to have a bit of a Guardians of the Galaxy feel about it in some respects, which is hardly surprising, of course, given the fact that this is a James Gunn movie. I do anticipate this film is going to be a good deal better than something like Captain America: Brave New World. I think it's going to be a lot better than that. But is it going to be this major financial success that DC and Warner really need? Well, we shall wait and see. It sounds like Crypto, the dog sidekick in the movie, is going to play well with audiences and warm people's hearts. The most recent trailer, as you've probably seen, shows more of Crypto, along with a scene with robots helping an injured Superman, and they rejuvenate him by channeling the sun. Now, I'm not sold on the robots at this point, but we'll see. It's only a brief scene we've seen so far. The rest of the trailer plays much the same as the first trailer. It's just a bit longer, really. I didn't see anything that grabbed me. There's no real sense of the story at this point, but that's fine. The trailer does what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a teaser, so, it teases the movie and it gives you a sense of the vibe of the film. They're definitely going for an uplifting, cinematic, grandiose kind of spectacle here. It's what a Superman film should be. It should be bombastic and sizable in its scope. But here's the issue. There is pressure for this film to be basically epic. It can't be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 quality, which was a decent movie, but it pulled in $845 million at the box office. Now, that's a lot. But given how highly billed this new Superman film is, I think it's got to reach over $1 billion. I think it's got to reach over $1 billion. I think the film has to be at least on par financially and critically as something like Deadpool and Wolverine. And I think that's going to be a challenge, because if the film is just good, not great, it's not going to achieve that. And I suspect it'll be a kind of a safe sub-billion-dollar movie in the end. You know, it'll make its money back. It'll make a tidy profit. The question is, will that be enough to launch a new cinematic universe in the current climate? And that's what this film is supposed to accomplish. It's supposed to be the first part of a new DC universe. And so the future direction of DC on film depends on the success of this movie. It all comes down to this James Gunn Superman movie. And it certainly has to be bigger than 2013's Man of Steel. Now, I haven't adjusted for inflation here, but at the time, back in 2013, as per Box Office Mojo, Man of Steel pulled in $670 million worldwide. I certainly think this new Superman movie will be pretty good. It'll do well, no doubt. The opening weekend will be very strong. But will it be the box office juggernaut that it needs to be? We'll see. July is not that far away. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button. Take care, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.